Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Entrepreneurs Lunch and Learns. Here today with Jorge Hernandez, who is behind Record Space Productions in Electronik, and I'll be getting into his bio in a moment. He actually has partnered with Uncommon Entrepreneurs over the time that we've been around over the last year or so, and produced some amazing content. If you've seen any of our trailer videos or any of our other content, even these Lunch and Learn series, him and his team actually, you can flip the video there behind there. He's got a whole squad that does, and we'll be getting into it. But if you're new to Uncommon Entrepreneurs and what these Lunch and Learns are about, we're highlighting entrepreneurs down here in the Puerto Rican ecosystem, some that have relocated down here for Act 2022 and 60, others that are down here just that are making it happen. And, you know, we're going through very interesting times at the moment with COVID and with all this, where we're all needing to adapt, we're all needing to change, we're all need to think of fresh ideas and ways to stay ahead of the curve. And I wanted Jorge to kind of like come from behind the scenes, where he's mostly every single interview, because he can give some fresh perspective. He's a young man, but an accomplished man in a short period of time that you'll walk away with and learn today, where you can learn a lot of things about how to create quality digital content, how to produce music videos. Like, we're all entering the streaming age right now, where everybody is, looking to create content, and the more high quality and the more efficient and the more budget friendly, the more you understand the tools that you have access to, which Jorge has a bunch of, the more effective that you can be. So I think you're not going to want to miss this episode. So just to give a little bit of bio on Jorge and where he comes from, he was born and raised in Puerto Rico. He attended the University of Puerto Rico, Bayamon, where he graduated with a degree studying automation, instrumentation, and control system technology, with a background in electronics, media production, and entrepreneurship courses. He's overcome many obstacles and pushing his startup through these strange times in Puerto Rico that we've recently been through. His entrepreneurial journey currently sits as the founder of Electronik and Record Space Productions, working as a lead technician and project manager on both teams. Even though most people find it crazy that he's pursuing two ideas at the same time, he's enjoying the challenges, and I think they're pretty synergistic, as you'll kind of find today. And so Record Space Productions is a full media recording and production company that specializes in a wide variety of content, with complete and specialized team achieving multiple media production goals and so forth. And Electronik is premium IT solution company that provides repairs, support, IT solutions, custom services, integrations for Puerto Rican residents and businesses. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Drew.
Yeah. So I know that was, a lot in your intro. However, there's definitely things that are missed. Fill us in, like what, maybe on your story of, where, from where you're at to now, from college to starting this business, and how you got here.
Yeah, so both companies are an interesting story. All of this started with a startup campaign that I won in 2016 with the I forgot their name real quick.
Centro
Emprendedores. So we won a small startup with them, where we built a small pilot to remanufacture computers in a way that would make sense for big companies and reduce e-waste in a huge way in the island. Obviously, because we were studying, and many of the members, we were midway through the university, the project didn't go through completely, but we did get a lot of entrepreneur courses through it, and it was a really good experience. But after seeing that, I saw that there was a lot of need for repairing like used equipment in the island, and that this could probably lead to a bigger business. So we founded at that time a smaller company called Electronik, where we started giving out IT solutions for small businesses, residents, and mainly selling refurbished gear for them at a really reasonable cost, sometimes like a tenth of the cost of new equipment. And we've been slowly growing from there. And Record Space Productions, basically emanated from that idea where, maybe after Maria, a lot of these professionals really need tech support. They need a space to work with, more in line of what a co-working space is, but for media professionals. And we decided to open the space, then to employ almost 13 professionals in here.
Wow.
And with these ideas, me giving this tech support to all these media professionals, they'd be able to work really efficiently. And, being that we've haven't had any major investors in the project because we're so young. It's been quite the journey.
Yeah, I think that's special. And one of the things that they do is music video production, and I think we have a video we'll be showing to just give you some context on that. It's pretty impressive, like what you've done. So, kind of, you've just explained the details well. Like, but summarize it. So it's you and a team, and how have you kind of scaled that?
So yeah, we're divided in the different departments from audio, video. We have graphic designers, web designers, app designers, and what we're doing is creating this complex but simple idea of, okay, we're gonna be a full production company in the island that has young ideas, young professionals that didn't leave the island because of the tools that we provide here. Every person can basically work on their own and use the resources that we have on our space. And if it doesn't work for them, they can continue and build their own, companies on their own. But we're trying to, keep as much talent in the island as possible, scale in an efficient way, and find basically new and creative ways to move the Puerto Rico culture and, mark our little island on the map.
Yeah, that's amazing. There's such a need for what you're describing as a digital creator, and kind of just getting into the space over the last few months and so forth. Working with you and your team, because you guys are able to handle many of the logistical details. It definitely has proven to be of use, because it steps up your professional game kind of right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, because we obviously some people think I'm a one-man team, but not at all. Like I'm managing quite a large team with different modern tools, and with these tools I've been able to I've been blessed and able to grow a portfolio in such a short time. We've been operating for now 3 years, and in our website we have our full portfolio of all the services that we bring, and we're continuously adding new and exciting products to the mix, especially now with this pandemic. It makes us think in a different way, and needs change incredibly. So yeah, it's been a journey.
That's awesome. What are some of those changes that you've been seeing at the moment?
So yeah, we actually did like a small market research on Puerto Rico to March, and obviously we discarded that completely. We're doing that again now to study the different needs of professionals in the island, from pharmaceuticals to grocery stores and different people that need media content.
Yeah.
And we're seeing, okay, now that their needs are changing, how can we provide maybe creative ways of creating a different type of website, maybe doing 3D scans of their space or showrooms to showcase, now that people don't really want to go to the places to see them, or there's too many lines, how can we maybe bring that content in a high quality to their clients? So it varies immensely, but we've been slowly offering different services like this, video, live streaming, podcasts, high quality video production, and integrating the different departments.
That's great. Yeah. Organizing it. So, how are you managing all these tasks? I mean, you have a team of 10 plus people at the moment. I'm sure it's growing. How are you able to kind of keep it all situated and deliver? And, what's kind of your tips on that?
So yeah, there's a nifty tool that many people I think are catching up to. There's a Kanban tool. We use especially the platform Trello. It's been a great platform for us. How we can I can funnel a complex project, like let's say we obviously don't try to sell just audio production. We try to sell full package, and I know the capabilities of our team. So I go and I divide all my tasks and in basically a small Gantt chart on our platform, and everyone gets notifications to start working on it right away. Everyone has their deadlines, and basically that's how we've been able to continue working in this pandemic, because that platform was already working on without it. So having it basically accelerates how we work remotely.
That's great. So in this theme, right, you're starting and, been in business now for some time. What leadership skills have you learned? What could you maybe, somebody out there that's looking to, follow suit, they have a dream, they want to scale, have a team because they know that they could do more with other people's talents. What would you say to that?
Well, it's interesting. Working with people is hard. Everyone has different opinions. Everyone has their different strengths and angers, and it's pretty interesting. I think it's not for everyone, but especially you can't give up. You're gonna get frustrated. You're gonna feel that probably you're not doing the correct things, but there's not really a correct way to go forth with it. The most important thing is hearing your team out, hear about their worries. Some things may seem really insignificant to you, but it could be a huge problem to a specific team member, and that can quickly propagate to other members that, maybe they see that a leader is not paying attention, but give them calls, hear them out, help them wherever you can. And basically, obviously, everyone says that communication is key, but it goes a little bit further than that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you just hit the nail on the head. Communication is everything when it comes down to that. So, that's interesting. Any other kind of tips on that front that's maybe help bring people together? Because we're in this middle. Everybody's been kind of separated, right? You had kind of a condensed team, and then everybody kind of was working on their own. Now they're coming back together. You guys have been overcoming a lot.
Yeah. So it's at least on how we work in record space. Because I don't. I try to funnel products to them, and they use our portfolio to try and get more products to the studio. It's been interesting, but obviously you gotta rely a lot on their talents and let them know that, hey, these are all the tools that you have on hand. You should go and get all the projects that you can, and coordinate with me if you need any help, and other team members. But yeah, other than communication, I think you got to hustle every day. That's how it goes.
That's good.
Especially now that a lot of people are competing with each other, and there's a lot of small agencies that are popping up out of nowhere. So we're competing with a lot of people, but we're maintaining our integrity and quality. So I think we're over a lot of the other competition in the island.
Yeah, because you have full service, vertically integrated, a lot of different solutions, just to simplify for sure. And having professionals dedicated to each skill is kind of important. So let's switch a little bit. Somebody out there that is looking to be a digital creator, maybe step up their game and so forth. What kind of tips would you have for them that you've kind of learned through working with so many clients?
Well, and could you specify like an area? Maybe?
Yeah, I mean, just somebody that maybe wants to make music videos or make digital content.
Well, if it were an artist, you have a really powerful tool, and that's your phone. Even like 5-year-old phones are good enough to just start getting content out there. It's really important to get an audience going and over quality, and slowly you keep interest as you increase quality and people see how you succeed. So even though it's great to start with like a setup like this and having different shots or creating amazing music videos, it's good to just start from the bottom, show like interest, show your talent, and start growing. The same goes to other like commercial products. If you're just starting out, don't spend $5,000 on video production or marketing. Just start getting your niche out there. Start getting people know what you do with simple photographs on your phone. Just post them raw. It's okay. You'll start getting there, and people really enjoy and follow like progress. So that's my 2 cents on that.
That's good. That makes a lot of sense. You're right. Getting something out there and just showing what you're about and is key. So am I hearing you say like having a balance of kind of just on your phone and this type of high quality production is the way ahead, or how have you kind of found that to work?
Yeah. So a lot of people, like what I said about progress, a lot of people tend to get a little tired or bored of seeing the same, quality, the same, that the person is not increasing their production in any way. That goes with their product and their branding. So if you're just starting out, just start with whatever you can, post pictures, do stories, maybe a live stream on your phone, like showing your product, however it is. But if you can, slowly start scaling it up, outsource to different agencies. We're generally not an agency. We cut the middleman in a way. So you're working direct with the professionals with us, but start getting people that can integrate and improve the quality of your product, and like us or anyone else, and that will show your audience that, hey, your product is growing, your quality is growing, your social media is getting better content, and that will give you time to do even better things.
That's great. Interesting. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You just got to kind of switch it up. People do kind of get bored. Yeah. So, talking in this theme of, trends where you see kind of the industry going now that a lot more people are at home, they're on their phone. It's just, everything's changed over the last few months, right? Since we've been in kind of this pandemic type idea. How have you seen that maybe shift with, music videos and with digital content, or where do you kind of see that going, the trend?
Well, it's going to keep getting more. Obviously, the need is going to keep increasing. People are going to get more, impatient in a way. Our attention span to any type of content is roughly a week. That there being like new music or videos or even a commercial, like after a week of hearing the same thing, you'll probably you'll get used to it, or unless you really enjoy it. But that's not the case to many of the things that we see in a day to day. We generally see thousands of ads in a week, and we don't even know about it just by a glance. So yeah, I think that now, instead of having like super complicated productions and like huge amounts of 3D effects on your content, it's more about consistency, keeping like a high standard of quality, getting content out frequently, engaging with your audience, there being a product or an artist. It's really important to maintain this connection with your audience, with whatever you're doing, whatever you're sponsoring or moving forward, because we're now online and you're just a swipe away from the next content below in Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. It's really important to keep on that feed as much as you can.
Yeah, you're right. Catching people's attention is pretty critical in all that front. So I know that you guys have played a critical role in Uncommon Entrepreneurs and kind of launching from a awareness perspective and creating videos and pictures. And I think we may even have like a recap video of what we've done, or what you've done, I should say. So maybe talk about that experience. Like, what have you learned? And maybe there's other organizations that could kind of leverage what you've learned with hosting events to kind of like create more of a pull, because we've been getting 100+ people consistently out to each event, and I think a lot of it has to do with just we can show a recap video of people that are going, that are having fun, that are enjoying, that just you get like the vibe of what to expect, so it's something you want to mark in your calendar. By the way, we are doing the next one this coming Wednesday at 6:30 to 9:30 out at De La Vida, if you're watching this live, and we'll put the details below. So yeah, just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so generally with events like the ones you guys are running, it's really important to generate those feedbacks, to document how your journey is going. That's going to be a major part in your portfolio, especially with Uncommon Entrepreneurs. If you go to their website, to their Facebook page, you can see like for almost like nine months of content, basically nonstop. There being like these lunch and learns or the recaps of the events, and we'll have a new event next week. So yeah, it's really important in my opinion for social like groups like this to document their progress, their being with photographs or pictures or video. But these simple 30 seconds to a minute recaps are what catches the attention of your general audience, and basically resumes what's going to be in the event, what's going to be in the next event, and what to look for. And in a way, you can see how you guys has been growing from the first recap that we did with you guys, where you guys had the pilot. It was basing out the concept. It was a success, so we kept scaling it from there to that climax in December with the event with the Chamber of Commerce, which was a massive success, and you've kept that momentum going. And I think it's partly to these portfolio that we're creating with you guys.
Definitely, we're on the same page. I think that's played a big role, because people get kind of to feel and know what to expect, and you can pass that to friend, and they just understand in a minute what is happening. So there's kind of power behind that, etc. So so that's good. That you guys are doing that.
Generally, recaps like this help to get new engagement on a social media page. If someone has already liked your page or is following you on any platform, they will see your content and follow along. But generally, you're trying to captivate these new viewers, these new subscribers that you can get on your platform. And as soon as they see the new one, that's probably what the algorithm in any platform is going to show them. Regardless of what AdSense you're going through. It'll help you a lot when they just click on that and they see your whole portfolio, like, oh, they've done 9-10 events. Okay, they have the lunch and learns. Okay, like this is a complete production and company that's doing really good content. So yeah, it's important to maintain consistency.
Yeah, you're right, because you're kind of keep in front of people, kind of like a heartbeat of that we're still around, and that's good feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you kind of see the whole like production industry kind of heading, or and so forth?
Well, I feel that there's always going to be a need for it. Like I mentioned before, it's good for you to start with your own content and you yourself like pushing forward an audience. But there's going to be a point where you probably got to delegate a lot of these stuff to get better or start motivating that content in a different way. There be it a YouTuber or this product or artists, etc. An artist can create their own song on their own. They can learn all the video production. It's probably going to take them 6 months or a few months to create like a good music video on their own. They can do it, or they could probably work on the content, save a little, get a team that believes in their project and go forward with it. And they start delegating these concepts. So I think there's always going to be a need. Technology is always moving forward. There's a lot of tools that are going to make things easier and more accessible for the general audience. So like productions like this, like a setup like this would cost like 20 grand like 5 years ago. And now we've creatively done this for a fraction of that, and we can make it mobile and use it in any place in Puerto Rico. So, and technology keeps moving forward with a lot of new technologies that are coming to the open source market. So it's going to help us a lot.
Yeah, that's intriguing. So on this kind of line of thinking, if somebody was getting into this on a budget, I know you're kind of all about repairing. What tips maybe would you have for somebody that's trying to enter?
Well, you mean like doing videos or maybe like YouTubers, that type of style? Well, second-hand market is the way to go, in my opinion. There's a point of diminishing returns with gear, especially as products keep getting better and better. The silicon isn't really improving that much from year to year. So you're going to see that something that's 5 years old is probably going to be like just 20% slower than whatever is 10 grand. And that 5-year-old camera is $1,000. So go with the secondhand market as much as you can. Read reviews. There's a bunch of them on YouTube, including the laptop. Just get your computer secondhand and as much as you can. But yeah, it's the best way to go just to start.
Got it.
Most of our general equipment is secondhand because obviously we try to get the best bang for the buck in a way, because we do buy quite a lot of equipment here. But our enterprise gear is new. So we've been having a balance of, okay, we have enterprise new gear and we also use a lot of general equipment, so we can justify our whole chart of different prices for clients. So yeah, it's a good balance.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. So kind of pivoting. So you started your business when?
Record Space?
Yeah.
Record Space started a month after Hurricane Maria in
so
2017.
Like 3 years, 3.5 years.
3 years, yeah, running.
Got it. And so you've, if I understand correct, have not taken an outside investor. You've bootstrapped this whole business.
That's correct. It's been
so maybe talk to entrepreneurs out there that are kind of in a similar position. How have you, stayed afloat and now are thriving with not taking outside capital?
Right. So generally, I'm a musician. I've been collecting a little bit of video gear and gear along the years for other projects, and I've seen that I was pack ratting in my house like a lot of gear, and I'm like, okay, like there's probably a need now to create a space like Record Space for a lot of professionals. So I'm gonna rent out this small area. That was the first proposal that we got this space basically destroyed for free for a year, and we built that out because someone believed in our ideas. And yeah, it's been hard. We've bought a lot of gear, and most of it we've gotten for 1/10 of the cost because on my background in electronics, well, I generally buy something broken and I repair it. I know not everyone can do that, and I'm blessed that I'm have had that experience, but you probably know someone that can help you out, probably getting lower cost gear. It doesn't need to be in media production. If you're opening a bakery, you can probably get a lot of stuff secondhand, repair them, and start building your pilot. And from there, you'll scale to a point where you can buy that amazing oven or whatever you're using. So it's just important to keep consistent, look for opportunities, get people that believe in your product. Obviously the first professionals that came here, I told him there's no pay till we get products. So if you don't believe in the product, I don't promise anything. I'm pushing this on my own from my own pocket.
How'd that work?
Well, I think not because people were vulnerable, but there weren't many things that we can do after Maria. So a lot of our professionals lost their studios, lost their equipment during the hurricane.
Yep.
So me giving them a platform where without any contract, we could, start working from here. They could bring their old clients and start being their own departments here from audio production and video. And that's how we started, creating these small projects, growing it out. And then we saw, okay, now we have a little bit of budget. Let's buy something in Black Friday to have new equipment and be in the modern era, and complement it with used gear and go forward with that. So even though we've probably spent a lot less than other studios, we're really proud of the quality of content that we're churning out there. And it's been a journey, like I've been saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's rightfully said. I mean, there's been a lot of hurdles living in Puerto Rico over that time period. But you guys are moving ahead and so forth. I'm assuming the demand's there, things are growing with interest as everybody's kind of online.
Yeah, because we went wide with the different departments that we have. Obviously, not many people are asking for photography right now or recording a full album for an artist. There's different needs, and we're trying to cater to all of them. But because some of our professionals are catered to different platforms, we've been able to scale in a way. But yeah, there's still a need for 3D scans for the realtors. There are a lot of people asking for drone footage of properties and their businesses. There's still a need for commercials and graphic designs for people to keep their distance and instructions. And there's still a need for a lot of content to be created. It's just the demand changed to other products. But
Got it.
Thanks that we're going wide, we've still been able to maintain relevant. Relevant.
That was kind of interesting what you guys are working with on live, like music events, kind of shows, and maybe even some other plays and other things in the future. Tell us about like the live music and how that's
after a few months that we started here in Record Space, we had this idea to create a product called Expo Sesiones, where we would record for free local bands and live stream them on our social media platform in the highest quality possible. That's how we started getting our name out there to show people like, hey, this is our quality. If we can do this live, imagine what we can do in post-production.
Yeah.
And we did 33 bands in a year.
Wow.
Then we got contracted by Liberty Puerto Rico to do a session with them, and they were really happy about our content and how we've been pushing it forward. But yeah, we're soon to bring that product again. Not for free, but it's gonna be a great way for local artists to have this virtual live concert in amazing quality, and be able to keep moving forward the local culture.
How have you found the audience connects with it? It's such a change up for how things used to be and so forth.
You mean with those sessions?
Yeah, I mean with the live, with the music. I mean, is it scaling, or is it helping a band to gain traction and stay relevant?
It does, because obviously many bands we're starting out. We've recorded with different levels of bands, but the ones that are starting out, it'll make them a good portfolio for them. It shows out like different talent that we have locally in the island that people haven't really heard of. It's a good way to interact with people in a safe way, especially in this pandemic. So we've got a lot of great feedback from it. A lot of those bands end up then recording a full album with us because of how just the quality of that live session was. So it's some motivation. It creates motivation for the band and for their audience to keep going. And we've seen probably half of those bands like increase exponentially after that first session with us, just because they saw the potential of the audience. It's a full concert with us, so they get to promote that for roughly a month and a half. And then if they want to keep creating content with us, we're glad to help in any department.
Yeah, that's so interesting how we've all kind of had to pivot to this way, and it comes across cleanly. And we'll put an example below in the link with how you guys have kind of played that out.
Yeah.
So kind of wrapping things up and so forth. Maybe do you have any tips for creating like a podcast? Somebody that's interested in that.
Yeah. So podcasts are, if you're doing them solo, you have a great tool, and that's your phone, like I mentioned before. If you're gonna record a like something like this with two people or more, you can still use your phone and move it around. It's if you're just starting out, just get that content. Don't really worry about the quality. Get an audience going. Hear the feedback. Make them get worried about the content that you're churning out. There's gonna be haters that are gonna criticize your quality when you're starting out, but as soon as you get an audience going, maybe you can get a revenue stream moving. You can probably buy better gear and move it as far as possible on your own, and then you can obviously reach out to a team like us to move it to the next step.
Got it. And that that makes sense. What would that next step look like?
Well, what that next step would be like, recording each voice separately, having different professional microphones set, like equalizing it professional by an audio producer, getting it licensed better for Spotify and different platforms, introducing maybe special audio, like royalty-free audio that we can create for you, and just taking that production to something like Rogan, I forgot it.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, like getting to that level. You can totally do it on your own, but if you can delegate most of it and keep working on that copy and that next content that you want to create, is gonna make you get to the next level.
Got it. Great. So as we kind of wrap up, any other kind of advice you have, or just things that you've kind of would throw out there?
Well, if there's something I've learned in the past few years, is if you have an idea and just go with it, try it out. Don't wait 20 years to start the idea. I'm really happy that I went with this, even though I've had a lot of opportunities to get maybe other 8-to-5 jobs and be stable in that way. I really thought I wouldn't be as happy as having these challenges from the day to day. Who would have thought that they would be getting earthquakes, that hurricane, and different problems and government problems. That it's always like a huge task on what we do on a day-to-day basis here, but just keep motivated. You got this, and move forward with whatever plan you're going. Just basically do it.
Got it. Yeah, that's a great tip to kind of an idea to kind of leave on is, some people have that fire to leave what they're doing and be an entrepreneur, and but maybe they need that push to jump over. What would you kind of say to somebody like that? That's how has that journey been for you from maybe like a fulfillment standpoint?
Well, in a way, if you're afraid of failing, you are going to fail consistently in a way.
Yeah.
The same way that consistently you're succeeding, consistently you're going to fail because you're going to keep standing up. There's a lot of trial and error in everything that we're doing. People like these podcasts can show you that there's some ways that some people are doing it, some ways that others are doing. There's not a real way for you to do it.
Sure.
Just start working on it, trial and error, do a lot of trial and error if you can, get a lot of feedback from your friends, try to ignore as much the people that say that stop doing it, because that's probably the most that you're going to hear. But if you can filter that out, there's going to be people that believe in you and push you forward to that next step, because there's never going to be an ending to this. You're always going to keep moving forward. There's always going to be better opportunities, but you got to move. If you're in your home watching Netflix all day, it's not going to come.
Great point. Yep. So action, tuning out haters, and just realizing that like once you start, they'll come around, the right ones, and being around encouraging people is essential for anything in life, especially with what you're mentioning.
Yeah, it's been 3 years now, and I still consider it just 2 years because for me the pandemic is not included in that number. But I wouldn't have thought that in 2 years we've been where we're at right now, at least in record space and electronic. Like we've grown exponentially because everything is moving so fast. Time seems a little bit slow, and there's a lot of opportunities. And we've grown the team to a point that I really think if I wouldn't have taken that plunge on when I did, and just push forward with all the obstacles and troubleshoot all the problems along the way. It would have been, I wouldn't have been here or the team. So I'm glad that, you know, my team believed in the project, and that they believe in themselves, and that this platform can keep growing, and will probably, you know, will be great to see in a few years, like watch this same interview and say, well, like we've grown probably 10 times from here, but who knows? If we don't, it's okay. We're gonna keep moving forward.
Yeah, this is a good time marker when we rewind in the future to, you know, see the progress.
Yeah.
It's just so interesting, and I've always been impressed on how, you know, you set up this ecosystem where, you know, you're allowing the people that are part of your team to, you know, all, you know, have a place, right, where some of them are so talented, but maybe they're not in the business development mode of getting a bunch of clients, but they can produce amazing quality content, and to kind of have that structure where you pass off, you know, first person does their skill, passes the second person to their skill, and it's a beautiful model that, you know, it's, you know, helping to, you know, create, you know, an ecosystem.
Yeah. Obviously, I try to be as versed as I can in all the departments. I try to know about audio production, video production, because you can't open a bakery without knowing how to bake. Yeah. But you should know as much as you can, and that's where I have the different professionals that are specific on their niche, and they know what they're doing, but I understand. It's not like I'm in complete darkness. So that's how I can help them. I can get, okay, I understand their needs. I understand how it works. Maybe I can build a better system for them, or integrate it in a different way. Or maybe I can see the clasificados on, that would be like our local Craigslist, and see, oh, there's an insane deal on this equipment. Would it work for them? How can we integrate it and invest in it? So it's important to, you know, push forward those ideas and believe in your team, but having professionals that can move it forward. But on the business front, a lot of them, even though they can push their businesses, and I root for them if in the future they want to, they would probably, you know, and they tell it to me that they would have a lot of problems, you know, with the taxes, with how to incorporate the company and move it forward, the rent, pushing it on their own versus on this collaborated team. They can, you know, just focus on their talents and move forward without those worries that the part of the record space solves for them.
Yeah, exactly. And that really is kind of the theme of this new economy. It's kind of a shared economy. It's you know, diversified, and, you know, we're better together type, you know, moving. It feels good to be a part of a team, obviously, too, right? Because you're, you know, feeling, you know, you can high five somebody versus like high fiving yourself. They go so far.
Yeah.
You know. Well, good. Any parting thoughts? Anything else that would be kind of relevant that maybe comes to mind?
Well, no, I think we've
it's been great.
If anyone, there's any,
how do people find you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook on jhdc.tech, or you can click that on a website and you can find my portfolio there. For Recordspace, it's recordspace.pro, and Electronics, electronic.tech with a K at the end, not a C.
Got it. And we'll put that below, so make it simple. But yeah, appreciate, you know, you taking the time. Again, you know, this is you and your team behind. I don't know if you want to put another quick clip on you guys. Shout out. Appreciate you guys for sure. And as you see additional content that we push out, you know, this is what they're doing. So if you need their services, you know how to get a hold. But yeah, appreciate it, Jorge. It's been a pleasure. Look forward to continuing working together.
Thanks for the time.
Yeah.